any serious capacity ever again. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Who knows? We shall see. I'm getting a little burnt out. I'm gonna skip the queue and I'll bring in RubberMango to kind of close things out.
My brother, what's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Nothing, just another day. I don't know how you guys started this earlier today. I mean, give me a little Giselle. How did you guys start? I mean, you guys kind of ended on like cheating and Valve's whole.
Oh, I mean, we started on completely different topics. This is just people coming in and just talking. So when the last two people, we've just shifted our focus on cheaters. So yeah,
just like an open forum. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I like to keep it on topic stuff for just kind of like the purposes of the chat and stuff. But
yeah.
I got a couple points that I wanted to kind of just general kind of toss at, hot potato. And Monkey's in chat, so shout out to Monkey if he wants to join. If you want to do like a 3-man thing, but Monkey's super chill. But
yeah, he is. I mean, yeah, I can throw Monkey in here if he wants to request to
Monkey?
speak.
What do you think, bro? I haven't talked to you in a cool minute. But my point is, and I agree to the sentiment. I'm not sure how many people kind of get this through their heads, but like it's like you were saying, TF2 will never be dead in the sense of like no one's playing it, right? Because
yeah.
it's exactly the point you said. It's a free, accessible like thing. You can just, it's the first thing most people play when they play PC games, especially when they get on Steam. Because that's like the number one thing that Valve is going to throw on you on their Steam platform because the microtransactions is kind of like the underlying thing. But It is a very accessible and fun game. Obviously, the state is not great, but you're always going to have like a trickling of new blood when it comes to this game. Like a lot of the people from like 2012, 2011, kind of that period of TF2 in its heyday are pretty much gone, man. Like they've moved on. And
a lot of them have, but I mean, I can pull my chat right now. How many of you started playing TF2 prior to 2016 and are still here?
Man, yeah, I feel old because like when the Uber update came out and like the Pyro update seemed like so hype when that came out. Remember that? We were waiting for Meet the Pyro.
Yeah, good. Yeah, like, a lot of my chat has been here since before 2000. Most of my chat has been here since before 2016. So
shout out to the OGs for the most part. If you guys are here after the Jungle Inferno, sorry, you didn't really experience TF2. In my opinion, you didn't.
No, I agree. You didn't. You experienced.
You
experienced the life support age that we've been in for a long time now.
You show them a picture of the Puffin Sting and you're like, what does this do? And they're like, huh? They just don't know. They don't know, bro. They don't know that the escape plan, what was it called originally? It was just the escape plan.
Yeah, it's called the Equalizer, and then they split it up into the Equalizer and the escape plan.
You just had to run Equalizer, bro. That's all you needed. Like that was the meta. No one used the whip and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But to my point, I suppose a lot of people, and I don't want to call them delusional because that's mean. But there's like a segment of like the TF2 fan base, and I think it's just the human condition where like things that you believe and that you have in your mind, you associate with your being. So when someone attacks something or criticizes something that you hold in your mind, you tangentially relate that as an attack on yourself. Right?
Oh,
so,
absolutely. I see that all the time.
Exactly. So like you criticize someone that they like, then all of a sudden it's like, well, fuck you, and they take it real personal. I think it's the same thing, obviously, with TF2, where it's like some people, for one reason or the other, I'm trying to be mean to them, but you talk about TF2 and its blatant issues, and you're not even necessarily being like an asshole about it in any sense. Like, I mean, just people.
No, you're just being like being literal, right? You're being truthful about the state the game is in, and I guess to finish your point, people get rabid and will just start gnashing teeth and throwing claws about, like, how dare you talk evil about this game? The game's fine. The game's gonna live forever. You're just a hater. It's like, whoa. No.
I've got my own, ideas as to why it is like that. I mean, it's multiple things, right? Whatever.
I think you hit on the point right away. Is that if people who are very invested in something, be it a game or a hobby more generally, or a person, or something that they enjoy, if someone approaches that and says, I don't like this thing, they take that as an affront on their person because they associate that with their person and their personality, so they're going to defend it.
Well, TF2 is no longer just a game; it's a social hub. Like it's kind of like I never played Roblox as a kid, but like for a lot of people, Roblox became like a social thing where it's like you start off gaming, and then you meet people and you make friends. Like obviously it's like kiddie shit for them, but like TF2 is no longer just, hey, let's play the game. It's like, what is your identity? What hats do you wear? You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Do you want to make content? Because now everybody can just get a copy of OBS and record their screen. Anybody can do it now. So it's like, you have the opportunity to create a quote unquote persona, with your loadout and deem it as you, and people will recognize you like, oh, that's such and such person. That's their loadout,
Yep.
And then you kind of start getting this weird like online avatar thing where like, this is me. This is my name online. This is what I do. This is what I look like, and it's very easy for those people who don't have the social skills and didn't make those friends in the real, and this isn't a dig on people, right?
No, yeah.
Some people only have that, and they kind of attach their social life. I see literally me.
No, yeah. Some people's entire social
life,
being is
dude.
in a video game, and the people that orbit that game. Yeah, and I know some of them,
And it kind of sucks to see it because some of those people, so Beard and I, we always joke about how it's like a bug in a mason jar,
Yeah.
And like the outrage only reaches from within the mason jar, so you can shake the mason jar, and it's like they make a lot of stink in the jar, but you can literally just walk away from that jar, and you're literally fine, like it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I mean, I that's exactly what I experienced as well. You just turn your back on it; it's like it's not even there.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. And we're going through that now. But to the bigger point, I suppose I was saying, yeah, the game will never be dead because people. Thanks for the analogy thumbs up, guys, in the Discord chat. But the point is, like, this game, a lot of the original people who really loved the game for what it truly was mechanically and to an extent, like, culturally, are gone. And you're getting sort of like the vapors of what that used to be, like a reduced, boiled down, like essence of what that love was.
No, yeah, because that's all that's left, right? It's like there's like traces of what the game used to be back then, and then you have these newer people coming in that are kind of like grasping at it, but don't get the full picture. So they're gonna be repeating the same ideas, and they can go back and watch videos that were in that time, right? And they're gonna parrot that. They're gonna repeat it.
All you can do is emulate, man. Like, how many times have you guys seen a video reviewing weapons, like in 2023 alone?
Yeah, I mean, Dane just put out, like, Shonik just wrote a video for Dane, and he put it out like 2 days ago, right? About a weapon, and there you go.
Yeah, all you got to do is give it a new coat of paint and slap it on. You're like, hey, this looks different and unique. Give it an interesting thumbnail.
Yeah, but then ultimately, what are you learning? You're not being fed anything new. It's all things you already understood. It's
comfort. It's just comfort. What you know what I mean? And a lot of people, it's such a weird thing with like TF2 out of any game is a case study, man, for these people. It is crazy. Like, you can make like a vaccinator review like every 6 months, and people will like watch it. You know what I mean? People will watch it and they will comment something unique, and it just keeps going. And like, I understand that a lot of people that start YouTube can come off of video games, especially something like TF2, and you learn how to edit and you learn how to write things and you learn how to concisely make a point. Essay writing, but you actually want to do it, something you're supposed to learn in school.
Yeah.
But when you're passionate about it, you learn to do it.
Yeah.
And like, it's more of a practice for these people to kind of like make their own content based on something that already exists. It's like when a teacher asks you to write like, an essay on what's that book about the pigs, Animal Farm, right?
Yeah.
Every one of their grandmas like written an essay on either one or like, of Mice and Men or something like that. But the whole idea is that you're getting building blocks off of it. So I don't really knock it too much.
Right.
But dude, like, I don't see how, as an avid, more than single cell like brained organism, you can see YouTube videos of the same game for like a decade.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's not the same people watching these videos. It's a generational thing where you have, a video about this weapon that appeals to the current wave of TF2 fans that eventually move on. Because like the rate at which this game chews people up and spits it out is a lot faster than people give it credit for, right? Where you have new waves of players always coming in and looking for content. And so a video about the short circuit 6 years ago is not going to be different than what it is now. But because we have that previous generation of players consume that video, they're not interested in the new one. They're not going to watch it. But then we have a whole new generation of players like, oh yeah, what's this? And then they watch it, right? They're not going to go back and look at the old video. They're going to watch the new one. And that's why you can sustain videos about the same topics over and over and over again. So, also, I should clarify, Shonik didn't literally write the video for Dane. That was a joke. He did some of the graphics for him. I mean, that's like, and he said in the description of the video that Shonik did some of the graphics for him, and it very much read like a Shonik video. And Dane probably like asked him, "Hey, why does the short circuit do this?" And then he just kind of reiterated what Shonik told him. So that's why I said Shonik wrote a video for Dane, and then he put it on his channel. So.
Oh. Yeah, whatever. I mean, then again, you're still making a recycled video for all intents and purposes. So like, really, what the hell?
No, yeah, but then to that point, right? It's like, and then the things that people focus on now, right, is that video was about a very niche mechanic that no one's ever heard of, that is hyper situational. It only happens because of buggy map geometry in TF2, right?
And
like,
that's interesting, for sure.
It's interesting, but it's these really hyper narrow focal points, right, that have no broader or interesting impact on the game, except for those that like go out of the way and experiment a couple times and go, oh, that was interesting, and then just don't ever really do it again, right? I saw a video, I didn't watch the video, but it was like a video about like something on Upward where it was like just the stairs out, like just outside of the second point, right? Like then how they interact or something like that. Like I assume that entire video was just about a fucking staircase, right? And so, but like that's what we do now, because like that's all we have left. There's nothing new to make videos about. So like we look for newer and more narrow channels to go into. Otherwise, we're just repeating what's already been done. And that's why I stopped making videos about weapons, because it's like, what else am I bringing to the table? Nothing.
Yeah, it's like fucking Castaway. It's just fucking like, well, son, you're just painting a fucking volleyball. You're talking to the set of stairs. Like, what are you doing, dude?
No, yeah, but again, people can get away with it because we have this current generation of players that is oblivious to all the old content and the old videos about these things, and they go watch the YouTubers making videos about these things that are mostly just reiterating what's already been said for years.
And what makes me so sad tangentially with that, it's like not only do they consume it, but they almost like bite the hand that feeds them. Like TF2 YouTube, right? Like you have a couple of breakout videos and like someone earlier mentioned, like some of them get millions of views. Yeah, when like Lazy uploads, right? Because it's more of like we're excited, like the algorithm.
A really good example of this, to interrupt, sorry, but a really good example of that is El Maxo's videos about specific weapons, where he focuses on a specific weapon for a half-hour long video, right? Where he does like the X amount of kill challenge, but in reality, he's just kind of regurgitating talking points about the weapon that everyone already knows, with gameplay in the background, right?
It's like a "Here Comes the Airplane" thing. Here comes the airplane.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Here comes the plane, and they kind of spoon feed him. Baby.
Yeah, the same shit. No, you're totally right. And shout out to Monkey. Yeah, let's return to the renaissance of clip dumps, guys. But TF2 YouTube is a fucking glass ceiling, dude. There are people who start their like quote unquote like career, you want to say, on the internet, like YouTube doing TF2. Like my buddy Bearded, like we branch out to other stuff and it's like nothing. No one wants to see that shit. But
that's a side effect of being on the internet in general, is people kind of expect you to stay in your lane.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who have branched out, like Whammo. Like people fucking hated him back in the day.
Yeah, like, now he's fucking internet anarchist being a Sunny V2 clone.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking doing his thing. Like, granted, it's not like original, but he's making his bag, dude. He's like, he's doing it, whatever. Like he's increased. He's got like a wider audience. Like I think what it is like it's like concentration. The TF2 community is like a glass of water versus like a bathtub, which is just like the rest of YouTube. But that fucking glass of water is just intense, dude, because they will nitpick everything about the videos, about what you say online anywhere else.
Because that's all we have left.
It's all they have.
It's all we have left.
Drama is all they have left. Drama and the same weapons and the same videos, and it's like
and the same topics, and then
why would you want to stick around? Like no offense to them. Like we had like a big issue recently, like in the last couple of months, where like there was some old drama that like Beard was dealing with, and it was already like resolved years before, and like the person brought it back up for like out of the blue, right? Yeah. And like I stuck up for him. I was like, "Fuck you guys! This is something that happened before, which you don't even know what really happened."
Your first mistake was taking to Twitter.
First mistake, yeah.
Your first mistake was acknowledging Twitter's existence.
I was like, "Fuck you guys! You guys are assholes!" And they're like, "I can't believe you would say that about this and that." And then it's like, it's like a game of telephone. I was in a server like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And someone like said something along the lines of like Mango is part of like the groomer squad, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I get those now too. I get those now too because of an off-color joke I made with a crying emoji. So.
Yeah, there was one instance where like somebody posted like a gore video of like a cat, being grilled. Horrible, right? And I had to delete it because I'm like I'm admin in Beard server. I was like, guys, please don't fucking post that kind of shit. Like we all like to laugh and shit, but like, dude, like what the hell's wrong with you? 2 days later, I'm hearing down the grapevine that I posted it. I'm like, what?
Dude, that's just the internet, and I deal with that shit too, right? It's like,
yeah,
like
dude,
there was so for example, Mega Scatter Bomb reached out to me, because of all the shit he was hearing about me, and he just like asked me directly, hey, is this true? And I clarified it for him, and I said, no. For example, there is a workshopper who keeps claiming that I made fun of his dead cat, which never happened. Never once have I insulted this man for his deceased pet, period. But this guy keeps making the claim on Twitter that I made fun of his dead cat, and then a bunch of other just blatant lies that
being a victim pays.
Being especially on Twitter, being a victim pays, right? But
get your 5 minutes of fame, man.
Definitely, yeah, but Megascatter reached out and said, "Hey, is this true?" And of course, I immediately refuted it because I have receipts where you can go back and look at everything I've said and done. The only time I've mentioned like dead pets in TF2 is that I think it's inappropriate to immortalize your dead pet in a video game. Like, I don't think it means everything to you and nothing to everyone else. I just don't think it's okay.
You're opening yourself up for like being shot at. You know what I mean? Like, you should never share stuff like that on the internet with strangers because they're gonna take pot shots, man. That's like rule number 1.
Yeah, and for example, this guy is catching shit from some schizos that are making fun of him, but then he like decided to project that onto me.
This is Zesty's fault. He sent them to me.
Yeah,
like,
apparently it's my fault now. Yeah, it's so.
According to Twitter, there's like an ethereal like hate cloud that just kind of goes wherever you point, like a fucking swarm of locusts. I'm like,
yeah, that's what they think.
And shout out to him, by the way, for reaching out to you, because that's literally all you have to do.
Yeah, and no one does. I shouldn't say no one, but very few people do. People just take whatever they see at face value and run.
Yeah, how many of you guys are in chat and you as well are aware of like Man Magazine, for example, right? I guess I'll break some news there. You guys are aware of that? I
think, yeah. Any person who is involved with TF2 Twitter knows what Man Magazine is.
Yeah. So they're redacting. And editing the because I was on a cover of an edition. They did an interview with me. I was like the main, I guess the face of one of those, and they're going to be editing it and redacting it, right? And I heard from a friend of mine who used to work with them. I won't get into details about that, but all I can say is like they're making some decision behind closed doors, and like not one of these people had ever reached out like, hey, we've been hearing some things. What's going on?
No, yeah, they did the same thing with me. They absorbed they absorbed the Swishcast TF2 YouTube podcast channel. They absorbed their channel and they unlisted their podcast with me because they want to go squeaky clean so they can be acceptable for Man Magazine.
Which is because one person kicks a shit fit and they just assume that it's everybody. It's like, no, just ignore the person kicking a shit fit, like what the hell ever. If they don't like it, they don't have to watch.
Well, no, the thing is, they have to keep appealing to their major audience, which is mostly people who do reside on Twitter. And if they side with the people that they dislike, then of course it's going to be bad for their brand. So naturally, they have to go back and scrub all of their misdeeds by interacting with these people from their history. So,
well, the same thing that happened with that one charity event, Seasonal Lander, a couple of months ago.
I'm not familiar.
It's just some small charity. I think they actually got a community post on the main TF2 page. Oh, my cat's here. Hey, Mary. Hold on 1 second. Y'all want to hear Mary? Hey, Mary. Say hi, Mary. Yeah.
On demand.
Yeah, she's cute. If you just kind of tickle her butt, she meows a little bit. But, it's one of those things where it's like people would rather not reach out, and one thing I've been doing, and I think should be a core staple, not just in online, but like your life, is to just be direct with people and be forward, like, I'm not confrontational, but I'll come at you and ask you a question if it's an important question. You know what I mean? And most of the people that will behave in this way, tickle her butt, Captain, is what I mean. When you ask tickle her what? When you're straight up with them, they freeze up because they're not used to the consequences of misbehaving socially, Yeah. You got €5 from Arthur E, by the way. Shout out to Arthur E.
Yeah, an addendum on he says not just immortalize your pets in a game, but put a price tag on them when you make workshop items. It's with the intent of getting paid. Yeah, which
wait, no way, what?
What?
Oh, is that what you meant? I thought you meant like using a name tag like on an item.
This guy makes workshop items, and he's made several featuring his deceased pets.
Oh no, that's god.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it was name tag. No, I mean him literally making models for cosmetics of his cat and trying to get them in the game.
I definitely wouldn't do that myself. That's for sure. I wouldn't.
I disagree with it. I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, do what you want, but again, like, don't be surprised when you get shit flung at you, and it's not.
Or not even shit. Just people saying, "No, this isn't a good thing." Not like I was never mean about it. Like, but he's like painted me as this demon for like wagging my finger and like making fun of his cat.
he loves that your animal's dead. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. People are so.
Some people said that. It's fucked up.
You know, but here's the greater point that I was trying to ask for that, because you had a video about the hot takes, you know, when you were taking people's tweets and stuff. And,
yeah.
Also, big shout out to you for being interactive with the community, because being interactive with the community is very positive for those people, keeps people around, you know, makes them feel heard. So,
well, and to my point, like I said at the beginning, it kind of reminds people that we're all human. Like, we don't have this barrier, right? Like, we're not on this pedestal up above. Like, we control you. You obey me and listen to what I have to say. No,
this week's meta is the crossbow. You know, like it's such a weird thing where it's like they take words as like holy scripture from some people. You know, it's super weird.
It is.
I've always tried to be very open in my forum, and so is Beard. Like, hey, just hit us up if you need something. Like, we're just people. Like, we all go to the bathroom. We all have like problems in life. We're just people. You know what I mean? Just because my pixels are bigger than your pixels mean anything.
No, exactly. Yeah, and my DMs on at least Discord are always open. I don't use Twitter anymore, so you can't contact me there. But DM's open.
But to the greater point is, I know that we talk a lot about like these weird aspects of like TF2. How much of that do you think it makes up the community, and how much of the silent community is
very, very small. Well,
yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase.
Isn't like that. They just play the game.
Yeah.
Shit talk and leave,
so
right?
Definitely a majority of people just don't involve themselves in the social spheres of TF2 at all. Like all of the vocal spheres are a very small minority of people who play this game.
They're the ones that are like attached to the game. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's them.
Yeah, it's definitely not a representative majority by any means. And a lot of the and also like to a further extent, like on Twitter, you have a lot of people that interact with TF2 posts that don't actively engage or play the game. They might have played it a few times. They're familiar with the game, and then they see something funny on Twitter, and then they like it and retweet it or leave a comment. But that's not truly representative of the people who actively engage with TF2.
Yeah, because one of my questions about all that was like, does this community even deserve, quote unquote, to have this game continue to be developed? And
no, we don't deserve anything.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't. And
that's entitlement. Like we don't deserve to have new stuff, but we deserve a functioning game so long as it's offered as a playable functioning game. Beyond that, we don't deserve anything else.
That's just standard. That's like baseline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that you if you have a product, it should work first and foremost.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But like, you know, some people are like outraged that like Valve isn't adding, you know, like brand new mechanics and new weapons, and it's like, you're just not going to get that aside from just the actual spaghetti code itself that makes it so difficult. You know.
No, yeah, we're not owed new experiences in the game, right? It's however Valve wants to handle their IP in terms of new content and new experiences, and beyond the game's functionality, we're not entitled to anything. I don't think.
You know, I feel like the way that this game should have, quote unquote, ended is that you would have had, in my mind, right? Like, because realistically, this can't go on forever, right? I think
of course not.
Yeah, whatever, right? You can't just. I mean, it's cool to pass the game on to people and they can discover it as they go, right? That's super cool. How many of you guys show a vote in the chat? Have you read the comics, for example?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. How many of you read the comics? And
you guys, yeah, like how many of you guys know that like that the soldier has killed Tom Jones at least twice in the comics?
You're gonna get an overwhelming number of yeses.
Okay, thank God, because your community seems very smart and handsome, and you guys are so awesome. You guys are great. You should stick around for a long time. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, they got an overwhelming number of yeses.
A lot of people like haven't read the comics, you know, and it's like there's like canon lore that extends the game, because most people don't even know, like, when it comes to lore. You know, well, this and that. I think the comics are canon, right? When it comes, so from what I understand, according to the catch-up comic, this is just like a tangential thing or a sidetrack. The TF2 video game is a documentary video game based on the true wars that happened between Red and Blue that are cataloged. I'm not sure if it's within the comics or outside of it, because they don't address Blue Team in the comic. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
Do they? I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't read them in a very long time.
The Blue Engineers, the ones that's helping. What's her face? The administrator. She's the one. Yeah. And there's Redman and Blue Tark, so there has to be a Blue Team, so there has to be Blue Mercs. So. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So then the TF2 video game is not canon. It is a documentary video game based on the canon events of the comic.
See, for me, it's the reverse. The game is what's canon, and then the comics came second and started like adding a bit more life and fleshing out the game. And initially, the comics were shipped with new products, right? They were shipped with updates, right? and to kind of like explain like, hey, this is why we're putting this in the game, and then they over time started expanding more and more into kind of like this own spin-off thing from the game. I really don't think that we should let what happens in the TF2 comics be definitive of the lore. We should let the game be definitive of the lore, and then have everything else kind of fall out of that.
Because I think the comics do literally state that TF2, the video game, is a documentary video game. I'm not sure if you guys want to take that at face value, but
I wouldn't, especially because like the comics were written by so few people who didn't even like actually work on the game. They were just artists and story writers and what have you. Not to degrade the quality and the enjoyment of the comics and what have you.
They're great.
But there is a very like, if you read the comics and then play the game, very huge disconnect from like the experience. Like if you read the comics and have never played the game, your expectations of what TF2 is would be wildly different than what you're given, right?
The heavy in the comics is not the heavy in the video game by any.
Absolutely not.
That's because it's at post development. They're like, hey, the heavy is really smart, and it's like, you really
heavy's actually really smart, and the soldier's fucking retarded. It's like I hate like, that. Ugh.
But to the wider extent of that is the way I imagine this game ending. Is, you know, I think it all really went downhill, like definitively meet your match.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Overwatch killed TF2 because Overwatch scared Valve enough to do so much to TF2 that it effectively put it in the state that it's in now.
No, yeah, so, I agree.
Overwatch killed TF2, absolutely. It totally did.
Inadvertently, it did by scaring Valve into wanting to compete with the rise of competitive matchmaking games.
Overwatch shot themselves in the head, and then TF2 had a panic attack, and then went schizo watching them shoot themselves in the head.
Yeah, it's actually a very good way to describe it.
They blew their heads off, and TF2 went, and they just kind of got locked up in a padded room, and that's it.
Perhaps we should say in a more general sense, the rising of matchmaking games and competitive matchmaking games is what made Valve step forward with their changes, and Overwatch kind of spearheading that, right?
Yes, casual competitive and stuff like that across the board for all video games, I think for sure. But
because here's the thing, right? Because Valve started working on Meet Your Match in 2014. We don't know the true catalyst, right? Because Overwatch was also announced in 2014, but they also said they started working on it in 2014, right? You can't just say, "Oh, here comes Overwatch, therefore competitive," right? But Valve absolutely saw the successes of CSGO and how huge that competitive scene got in such a short period of time that they started trying to incorporate that type of success into their other IPs. And they tried to make that happen for TF2.
Skins. Shit like that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was the entirety of the Gunmetal and Tough Break updates, is they were copying CSGO's operation system 1-for-1 into TF2, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they've always taken what is successful in their other games and put it in their other games. It's no different with competitive matchmaking, because if you look at TF2's matchmaking and CS:GO's matchmaking, they're effectively 1-for-1 copies, right? They used an existing game coordinator within the game, TF2's being Meet Your Match and CS:GO's being the original casual matchmaking system, which was then updated to have the competitive one, right? Both of them have smaller team sizes, limited map rotation, and that's it.
It's min-maxing, man. Minimize that crew, maximize the profits. You know, try to automate everything, but in turn, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because you're relying way too much on it. It's just all fucked up.
Yeah. So,
and you know, of course, we should demand more and better from Valve. But dude, they're like, what are they worth? Like billions? They don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, they earn like, so just from CS:GO alone, just from CS:GO's key sales alone, $2 billion a year.
Yeah, it's over. Guys, I hate to say this, but it's unequivocally over. TF2's not coming back. They have so much fucking money, they don't care.
No, the only reason why they would focus on TF2 again is someone's pet project. Yeah, someone's passion project, pet project. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not planning on hiring anybody who wants to fix TF2 because they don't need to, because they don't care. And why waste the money when Valve?
Yeah, at least not specifically for TF2, because we have Joshy in there who's hired to do stuff for the Steam Deck, who's also being allowed to work on TF2 stuff.
Now, the way this game should have ended, like, it should have been Meet Your Match, whatever. I would have, as hard as it would have been to roll back the system of matchmaking, they should have rolled it back, because pre that, you could find multiple servers for the same map full of players. If you got on TF2 and you told yourself, I want to play Nucleus today, there was at least 3 Nucleus servers you could jump on.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's queue up. Oh, look, it's Badwater. Oh, look, it's Upward.
And then if you just queue for Nucleus, you're going to get put in a half-empty server.
Yeah, you know, and they're going to have cheaters. And it's like, it totally ruined the experience for the casual player.
No,
you know?
yeah.
The server browser was antiquated, but it fucking worked. You know, like, it worked just fine.
I did a brief version of this rant in my hot takes video about why a matchmaking system is inappropriate for a game like TF2, and it's just an inherent mismatch for how the game is meant to function. It's meant to be a jump in, jump out whenever you want, do as you want, and not have a game coordinator try to put you into a balanced game, right? It's just not how the game was meant to be done. So trying to shoehorn and funnel all the players down the same slide, so to speak, and have them end up in the same pit of rocks is going to slow everything down. It's going to slow down the rate at which people get in their games, at which they complete them and then move on and kind of keep the cycle going, which is what TF2 was not meant to be for. TF2 was meant to, like, you join a server and then you stay in that server, have it reset, and then stick around, right? But with the matchmaking system, they completely threw that out the window.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, man. It's like, how would you like it if you were like in elementary school, you know, and it was recess, right? And instead of running out to the playground and playing like ball for like 10 minutes and then like playing tetherball for like 20 minutes, your teacher's like, all right, kids, this week you have to pick one activity. That's all you get to do.
I think more to that, it's not playing with the same people and not getting a similar and joyful joyful, I guess, experience with those same people and kind of a similar environment, because a lot of the way, because TF2 was originally only community servers, right? And then Valve started making their own servers to kind of normalize the experience, which is fine. But then when you remove the element of people being able to continue going back to the communities they got used to and the people they enjoyed being around, that was the social murder of TF2 when Meet Your Match came out, right?
And everyone moves to Twitter and Discord because they have nowhere else to meet up besides in-game.
You're exactly right. And then those, or Tumblr.
Trade servers used to be Discord.
Yep. Yeah, trade servers in general used to be hangout spots. You would have idle servers where people would just chill, right? Or to just talk and hang out.
But you never knew who you'd meet there. You know, it was kind of an open forum still, so there was still healthy, like, you know.
Yeah, people, like new people would still trickle in and out, but you always had the regulars that would kind of keep the core of the server going and what have you, right? And you can still get that experience. Like, there's a couple of servers that I frequent that still have, you know, a normal expected player base of like, you know, 20 or 30 guys. But that's all gone with matchmaking because you can't build little community, little sub communities anymore. The only way you get that now is with Discords and infighting.
Yeah, man, it's a shame. You know, it's I mean, obviously we're like starting to nip at like a way bigger issue socially with like just how people behave in general, which, you know, it leaks into every aspect of everything in life.
Yeah.
TF2 is just like a litmus test. You know, everything is connected to everything, so you can't just isolate this and be like, this is only in TF2. Like, no, this is just a wider for everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But like, it's really difficult to find the incentive to like put in the work to make content, if not for yourself, for like a general audience.
Oh yeah.
Because there is just so many like landmines now, and I'm not talking about like you can't say certain words because like of course that's pretty easy to dodge. Just don't say horrible things. Yeah. Right? It's not that hard to do because people assume when you say something like don't step on landmines, they're like, huh, they just want to say horrible racial things.
Yeah, they just want to say the N-word. They just want to go beat up a minority.
Yeah, it's not what it is. It's like you can't criticize the game. You know, you can't look at a certain group of people and be like, this is wrong for them to think that. This is my opinion. You know, you can't have a negative thought on like cosmetics. You can't criticize content styles. You know, I know you're laughing because obviously, right? Like, it's so sterile to where like.
Because that's what's successful. Because controversy hurts growth. And people only want to get, I shouldn't say only, but the primary motivation for a lot of people on YouTube is just to grow an audience and get bigger and be a YouTuber, right? Whereas back in the day, older YouTube was about being you. Now it's about being a YouTuber.
Yeah, and there's very few people who do that, and let alone do it in TF2. Like, I can think of like maybe two people, like Jerma, for example. It seems like his content is always something he wants to do and he's having fun.
Yeah, because
he's also moved away from TF2 and he's succeeded. You know,
and those are the ones that can break out of TF2. Very rarely, every now and again, you have someone who's just like Whammo's a piece of shit. No redeemable or entertaining qualities of his person whatsoever. Aggravating voice. He breaks out because he copied what other successful means of YouTubing, which is, you know, being a Sunny V2 clone. But the people who manage to break out of TF2 are the ones who have their personalities and you know, be at the forefront of what they do, right? And the ones that try to break out of TF2 who don't have that, like, have themselves established as their brand, right? Then they can't find success outside of TF2 because it's not what they've established themselves as. They've established themselves in TF2 rather than, you know, them first.
Their personality and stuff. To cut in just super quick, guys, Whammo did help me catch at least two groomers / you know, you know, can you say that word on YouTube? The P word?
I don't know. I don't care.
pedophiles. He helped me catch 2 pedophiles, guys. So like, as much as you might not like his content, like in DMs and privately, like he's pretty chill. Like he's cool.
Not to me. He's a two-faced bastard that I hope gets hit by a truck. But
I respect and what's the word? Acknowledge your experience.
Yeah.
In my experience, you know what I mean? We don't have to hate each other over that. You know?
True.
Isn't that crazy, guys? What the hell?
Yeah, true.
What the fuck? But like, it's so crazy that like people are kind of stuck in the TF2 sphere, you know, and I feel bad for them. And
yeah, Big B, the fluffy redneck, made a very funny video, a very true video about TF2tubers and trying to, whenever they try to break out, they come crawling back because that's the only thing they have, right? Yeah. I recommend people watching it because it's like half satire, half or I should say like 15% satire, 85% very true when it comes to making content for not just about TF2 but for a lot of things, right? People kind of shoehorn themselves into one lane and can't get out.
He had a real hate boner for Joey for a cool minute. That was really weird.
I think he was just taking the piss. I think he was just taking the piss.
I don't know. It just seems super odd. It just seemed, yeah. Now you mentioned it, it was way too like edgy to be true.
We chit chat a little bit. We play games together sometimes. He's actually a really chill guy. He's nice.
Okay, cool. If he's just shit posting, then whatever. Then.
He does. It's sometimes it's hard to tell when he's shit posting and being serious, but I think that's the point. I think that's the point. So
I got baited if that's the case because I definitely had interaction with him before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like. TF2 is a stagnant puddle. It's as if like your best friend was like hit by a truck and he's in a coma in the hospital and he's brain dead, and like they're not gonna pull the plug because he has a consistent blood transfusion, you know, and he has life support. And like without life support, he's dead for sure.
Oh, of course, but
this new blood keeps coming in, and once that blood gets a feel for what's going on, like fuck this, and it leaves. You know what I mean? Like it's just. The people and see if you agree with me here. A lot of the people
hold on. Someone actually brought up a very good point in my chat. If you can't make good content outside of TF2, your content was not good enough to bring new people in.
Ooh, that's true. Totally true. Because TF2 is just kind of like an easy framework for you to build off of.
No, yeah, because people are going to watch it no matter what, no matter the quality, no matter who makes it, or it's so long as it is. I mean, like we've said, reiterating things either people are comfortable and familiar with, or appealing to that new wave of players. People are gonna eat it up.
Who said that? You're a smart guy.
Boney Zoni said
that
this.
That guy rubbed his brain cells together.
No, and he's not wrong, right? I mean, I think that's indicative of how not truly entertaining you were if you can't successfully branch out into other things. It's not the end all and be all, right? Of course, if you only make TF2 videos and then suddenly do something else, right? That's gonna throw a lot of people off and go, "What the fuck? You only made TF2 videos and now you're making a video about what's on my desk? Icebreakers chewing gum, right? Like
you're rating the top 5 burritos within a quarter mile. What the fuck?
Yeah, like what? iDubbbz, right?
Experiment, you know, whatever. But like, I think what people don't realize is that like YouTube, in the early stages, was about passion and fun, and then the whole like high of views.
Broadcast yourself.
Yes, and then it became so mainstream to be #1 and to be the biggest, and we got obsessed
TV.
with that shit.
It became
TV. Yeah, and it's like. The most fun, and this is the tip I can give you guys, because like I mean, you could say I'm quote unquote successful, right, for YouTube, because like most people don't get like past 5,000, right, for the most part. I've got a couple of videos that like break like the half a, I got like 1 or 2 half million, whatever. Whatever, right? What I'm saying is like the most important thing to understand about like YouTube is that if you're not doing it as a passion project and then you put it up and you're like, I'm satisfied with what I have made and I'm happy with it, then eventually you're gonna, you know,
it'll be miserable.
You're gonna hate it because like my channel started as like clip dumpy, and like everyone's does, right? Like, and I would clip dump not because I'm like let's get views. It's because me and my friends from high school, when we were in high school, it's like, hey, dude, let's just start putting our clips together so we can watch them together, like at lunch or like after class, and just fucking laugh at shit and show people shit we've done, and then you just put together like a 20-minute just like clip dump of shit that's happening.
That's how I started. That's what I did too. After I got done with my courses in college, I'd come home and play TF2 with my friends and throw together a clip dump.
That was really fucking funny. Everyone has to see that shit. You know what I mean? And like every video, and people ask me like, how do you learn to edit? It's like all you have to do is keep editing. Because at one point you're gonna be like, how the fuck do I make this image rotate and move at the same time?
Yeah.
Guess what? You got YouTube, motherfucker. Look it up.
Yep. There is a YouTube video or, you know, help page on literally everything that you want to do for editing.
Everything. Yeah. Like how to get plugins, how to use those plugins, how to make certain visual effects pull off, different tips and stuff.
Yep.
And then eventually you just learn. You don't just study like a class. This isn't a textbook. This isn't a classroom.
No, it's a skill. It's a skill that you gradually build upon and get better at it with time.
Do it. Exactly. You just do it. So anybody who thinks they can start a YouTube channel, if you here's the big thing, and tell me if you agree with this. I hate when someone starts a channel and they've already got a personality, they've got a name, they've got a brand, they've got a Discord, a Twitter, all these things, but it's like the content isn't even there.
No, they haven't established themselves yet.
You're so focused on making your personality and being like somebody that can be famous.
Well, no, it's more of the latter. They want to be famous. They want to be the marketable product, right?
Yeah,
because that's because they get stars in their eyes, or because it's the easiest path to stardom now and to get the attention, right? When it really should be the other way around.
Harry Baxter said it, because they want to be content creators but not make the content.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Because you want to have the personality. You want people to be like, oh, is that such and such in the server? And you're like, yeah, it's me, dude. It's like, what's wrong with you, man? And it's like, it's this obsession of like, I want to be famous.
Well, I mean, everyone wants their 5 minutes, and they see YouTube as a means to get it, so.
And that is such a horrible thing, It's like, when you see those Taylor Swift girls at a concert and they're like, you'll never find a girl like me again. That's you people, but in reverse. And I'm not saying the chat, but I mean like the general TF2 specifically, like, a couple games too, like you said. But they have their loadout. They get a decent mic. They record their shit. They get a couple of PNGs of their character blue screen through SFM.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
They're the new hot shit. Yeah.
Why doesn't he have 10,000 subs? And then like 6 months later, not recommended, because it's the same shit, dude. It's the blood transfusion of the same shit.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I can't tell you how many people have, tried to do the working formula that was established back in 2014-ish, was the whole, TF2 loadout. You're this e-celeb by having a specific loadout. That's how people recognize you. So many people have gone through that same cookie cutter formula and have failed because they don't and the whole thing of setting up the personality before making the content, and they flop and fail.
Yeah, and it's like, if you don't focus on having fun and putting shit out and doing what you love and being happy with what you make, then you're never going to find quote unquote success, because the problem is people aren't even defining success the right way. What is success to you?
For a lot of people, it's money. For a lot of people, it's fame.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, Zode, if you feel attacked. I apologize for anybody out there, but this is something some people have to hear. Look in the mirror, man. What matters more right now? Doing this or getting good grades in your classes?
Yeah.
I put away everything online for a couple of months, and I finished my undergrad chem class with a 98% because I had no social life. I don't have time for this shit.
Focus on priorities, maybe.
You know what I mean? You cultivate things in life, and I'm not saying it's not cool to have an online personality. By all means, this is a new wave of culture. Have fun, put your shit out there.
Yeah.
But if you're late on a payment, or your registration for your car is due in a week and you still haven't done it, and you're uploading TF2 instead of getting your registration paid,
getting your shit together.
What the fuck are you doing, dude? Wake up, man. Get your shit together.
Yeah, this isn't life. This isn't going to be a replacement for success in the long term. This should always be viewed, for me, and this is what I've done, it's always viewed as a hobby. It's always viewed as something you do at the end of the day or during your day off or what have you, for fun, right? You don't make this the career, and I don't think anyone should ever make YouTube a career until it's definitive and they have the shitloads of money flowing in and all their eggs not in one basket, to then, okay, maybe, I can,
If you can ride something and make enough money to pay for a house, dude, you win. Fucking do it. Take the ad. Take the Raid Shadow Legend ads. Do what you got to do. And then if you quote unquote fall off 2 years later, dude, if you bought a house with that money, did you really fall off? You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, people also save your money, stock up. Don't just spend it all. Be smart with your finances, and you'll be okay.
Take care of the people around you, man. Do good shit with it.
And yourself. Right, and your own shit. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't take care of themselves and their own shit, and then they hit a wall and go, oh, why the fuck do I feel terrible? Why is my life falling apart? Because you didn't take care of your shit and you focused on things that are not important.
And it's really easy to slam dunk on people like that too, because it's you can just see them as neats. They're just at home doing nothing, and this is all that matters to them, right? But you have to, and this sounds like such a condescending thing to say, but you got to have some empathy, right? Where it's a lot of these people didn't choose this, right? They just ended up to being here, because a lot of people are fucking sad.
Yeah. Especially now.
They don't know why they're sad, but it's because you're living an unhealthy, unhuman life, dude. This is not human, bro.
Oh yeah, and it's hard to make change, right? Making new habits, breaking old ones is immensely difficult.
And it's easy to make fun of people. You know what I mean? It's super easy to make fun of people. Don't get me wrong. We make fun of Twitter all the time because they're psychos.
Oh, yeah, and that just circles back because it's easy. It's easy to maintain status quo. No one wants to put in the work to do anything, so...
Yeah, it's just... Man, this became like a life lesson. What the fuck? Sorry, kids.
It's just good conversation is all it is.
Yeah, your dad and your uncle are having this real fucking strange conversation. Sorry, kids.
Who's the uncle?
I'm the uncle.
I'm the daddy. Oh, God.
You're the daddy. Or maybe I'm like second cousin.
Second cousin, twice removed.
You see him once every couple of years. But my point being is like, you know, value those people you meet online, right? Like, take care of yourself. Get things done that you need to get done.
Oh yeah, value your immediate circle, yourself, your family, your friends, right? And then all the extra stuff comes third, right?
Don't let it dissuade you from doing shit online. You know what I mean? Because like, this isn't like, because some people will take this message, but also be like, you shouldn't have any fun in life. Fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like, no, have fun, make your channel. But like, remember the objective while you're doing it. Like when you have the time to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like cultivate what makes you happy, guys.
Yeah. Don't come into this as if though you're gonna immediately succeed and this is gonna be your job, because it won't.
Yeah. Like, and like it's so easy to like all these conversations we've been having for years about TF2 and what's happening. Just their arms and go up and go like, who the fuck cares? It's a fucking video game.
The only people that care are the people who've been really hearing the same things for a long time now.
Yeah, man, it's rough for people that like this is a comfort for them, you know. I mean, there's people who like when their favorite like band breaks up or like their favorite show comes to an end, you have that weird void. I think it's similar to that, where it's like some people, they just want to come home and relax, and for them it's like, I can't run amazing games. My friends all play TF2, so it's TF2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm so over it because we all branch out in other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's easy to step away from it because like for a lot of us, I was gonna say something earlier, for a lot of us, like probably you and me the same, I don't really play TF2 as often, but you always come back eventually to play for a bit. You always come back, right? Like TF2 is one of those classic games where the gameplay is so
I'm still hopelessly addicted to this game. I still play a few times a week. It's just good.
Yeah, the game is built so well, you know, it's got such a charm to it. Like regardless of what's happening now, you can still see like your old friend through all the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can still see him in there. He's still in there, and it's so sad because you're like, man, like I love you still, but it's just like it's not the same.
Nope.
It's not the same. I love you, I do. And sometimes you got to tell your friend, dude, clean your shit up, like fucking wash your shirt, shave, you know, clean your beard up, something. And people take offense to that, but it's like when you love something or someone, you need to criticize it, man.
No, and there's so many people like that just cannot accept that. They view criticism as an attack and not a means to improvement, right? Like if no one ever tells you what you're doing wrong and only ever says good job, then you're not gonna develop and grow and get better, right?
Yeah, man. It's sad to see people that just, you know, like I used to play like every day, you know, but it's like eventually you move away, and like once every couple of months or weeks, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, you know what sounds really fucking fun right now? Setting sticky traps as a demo man and a choke point. That just sounds like no other game is gonna scratch that itch tonight. Nope. You know, and you just do it and you're like, fuck, this is awesome as shit. And then you're like, you're happy. That's it.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to like, and I think people think that like people like you and me and other people that criticize TF2, we're like, fuck this game, no one should play it, it's a bunch of shit.
People criticize people like us, like they say that we hate the game and that we want the game to die. No, we're pointing out these problems so the game can improve. If you never point out the problems, then they're just gonna keep stagnating. It's gonna rot, and that rot's gonna spread and then it's gonna get worse, right? You have to attack these problems at the root, otherwise they're never going to go away. And if you never acknowledge them, the whole fucking house is going to crumble.
We could turn back time to the good old days, guys. You know what I mean?
Like, and it just that irritates me to no end. Is people like being so reductive as to like writing up all criticism as like, oh, you just fucking hate what you're talking. You fucking hate want the game to die. I've never understood that. It's people so largely just doing this reductive arguing for the sake of getting clicks on Twitter, mostly, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
Shout out to you guys for being so receptive and thoughtful in chat. I've been reading some of the stuff too. You guys are very,
I mean, you'd be surprised how normal people can be when you talk. And I think people are afraid of doing that because they're afraid of like breaking down that facade, right? Because like I know a lot of, and it's mostly not to be mean, but It is mostly like the Zoomer tubers, the new tubers,
Yeah.
who have this mentality where they view themselves as higher up on that pedestal, as like, you know, oh, I shouldn't be interacting with the peons and the laymen, right? It's like I need to be in my sphere and keep to myself, right?
Yep.
And it's always like, oh, I'm interacting with a fan. I'm interacting with someone who adores me. No, I'm interacting with another person.
Yeah, and it's like there are some people that get that like modicum of like being above someone socially, and man, they fucking, you know, take a mile from that inch. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had people approach me in that way where it's like they're kind of they treat you differently, and it's like, dude, chill out. Like,
no, yeah, I have when I started doing this a few times, I have people who are like super nervous because like they're
I didn't know I'd get up here. Like, it's like, no, just like, how's your day?
Chill.
Like,
We're just having a
how was your day,
conversation.
bro? Yeah, what's on your mind? You know what I mean? That's that. We're all people.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know you're probably burnt to shit.
I was about to say I gotta start winding it down.
I know you're burnt. So guys, again, you know, like, it's very easy to take all of this frustration, especially when it's spat out at you, to throw it back. You know, like in my case, you know, there's rumors about me, about my friends. You know, there's people who want to dissociate, like projects that no longer want to like move forward with me. And like,
yeah,
it's very easy to just be angry and spit venom back. Not only because like, for the most part, it can be warranted, right? But because there's like a lack of respect that some people will have, you know, because everyone thinks it's funny up until it's your turn, you know, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
like,
and
I mean?
again, it's easy just to kind of go with the flow, right? You go with the flow, and the moment you go against that flow, then they lump you in the same camp of the people they're trying to burn.
Oh yeah, no, I say retard all the time on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
people are like, you can't say that. It's like, what, I can't say retard? I can't call you a retard? Like,
I mean, I
retard,
say it too,
you know?
but just...
Yeah, whatever, dude. It's a you know what I mean? Like, if I was like going out of my way to hunt you down and like saying these things to you, it's like, okay, that's crazy, right? But this is the internet. A lot of you people obviously didn't really like stick around when like you had to have thicker skin, you know, like you got called way worse things and you just moved on, you know. And I'm not saying like you should do that to people by any means. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
all I'm saying is like, you need to learn to like not let things cut so deep. You know what I mean? You need to understand what's important around you.
Well, in a time where people are encouraged and reinforced by letting things cut deep via social engagement on, you know, Twitter and what have you, then people will keep doing it. Instead of developing the thicker skin, they will play victim.
Oh yeah, because it's more... I almost see like an enjoyment out of it, because also, you know,
it's also more socially profitable for themselves mentally, and for, you know, bringing themselves up amongst other people.
It's like the Pro Jared thing where everyone shit talked him, and then like he had receipts months later. Once it cooled down, it's like, oh, I guess we were wrong, guys. How could we have ever fallen for that?
Yeah, and then all the people who did the shit flinging to start with, they're never held responsible because
all of a sudden everyone was a supporter. It's like, what are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
But moral of the story here, guys, is, you know, I don't want to get all sappy and shit, but, you know, there's things that are more important, guys. You know what I mean? Like, we all fucking hate that there's cheaters, and, you know, we wish things were better for the game.
Way to bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, but like the whole, you know, just kind of shoehorn
to close the loop on this.
Yeah, it's part of the greater like modicum and like idea of like what TF2 is and what it means to people, and like why they're so upset about it, and why we're still talking about it, right? Because like, for any other person observing outside of this mason jar, they're like, what the fuck do they even care? You know, like it's just a game.
Oh yeah, every sphere like this is super compartmentalized, and from the outside looking in, they don't care nor have any idea what's going on.
Yeah, you know, but it you know,
it's all good. It's just
no, yeah. I've learned to not be very spiteful and angry, even though some people may like quote unquote deserve it. You know, I'm sorry about the mason jar comment, Lord Sicko. I just realized what I said.
I mean, likewise, I've learned to be less reactive to shit that I personally disagree with, and
one, for the backlash that you're gonna get anyways, no matter what, and two, because you'll have more inner peace when you really look to resolve things, which is why I move any issues I have into DMs. You know. Oh
yeah, instead of broadcasting them for the world to see, unless you start it.
Yeah, unless you start it.
Unless you start it, then we're gonna keep it where you started.
Oh yeah, I confront. I'm like, hey, if you want to bring things out, let me just bring things out to clear the air, because like you started it, man. Let's just talk about it then. If you want to make it open, we can talk about it openly. But, you know, take care of yourselves, guys. Take care of what's important. I know a couple of you guys probably have some quizzes or exams by the end of the week or next week. Sorry to ruin your vibe. Make sure you study, okay, guys?
Don't neglect your day-to-day responsibilities in general.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank God that exams are over for some of you guys, but some of you guys still got shit to do. But being receptive like that is super cool. If in the future you ever hear something about somebody, literally just ask them, and you'll find out for yourself within 10 seconds based on how they react, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The community is really chill here, man. Every time I'm here, they're super, super polite and positive. And
Yeah,
really
we're
great.
not the ravenous and rabid, zestyites that go out and harass poor little innocent
This is the
people.
basket of deplorables, huh?
Yeah, this is
deplorables.
Yeah, this is all the horrible people that I lead the reins on, and it's go stampede and trot over everything. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that we have to find common ground with those around us that we may disagree with on major points, and I think most of us at least agree.
Try to find common ground, but then learn to cut off the people who will not extend their arm.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's just not. It's a waste of time.
No matter how, no matter how much you may disagree with certain people, what they do, how they do it, and what they say, and I mean in this community specifically, as long as everyone would hope to see TF2 do better, that's all that really matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have different methods of approaching it, but hear someone's opinion out. Don't just call them a retard right away. Really have a conversation with somebody. I know it's difficult to put words together and listen to words and then process those words and then respond to those words.
The art of conversation and nuance is dead thanks to social media, because these types of discussions are not encouraged unless you're into podcasts, of course. But even then, a lot of podcasts are nonsense. Not saying this thing that's been going on for 3 hours and 20 minutes and 20 seconds has not been utterly nonsense, but yeah.
I like to streamline it, have a nice little conversation usually, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, but I mean that was a joke, but my point is,
yeah, no, I know.
My point is the art of conversation is dead, because it's people just it's not rewarded in any greater capacity anymore.
Yeah. Well, what are you about to snack on, man? You probably got a little munchie.
Right? I got leftover Turkish food from yesterday, so I got to go heat that up, and beer. Shit. So
here you go, guys. Everyone, make sure you grab a snack. It was nice chatting with everybody. Nice chatting with you as always, my dude.
Yeah, thanks for popping in, man.
Yeah, everyone stay positive. As easy it is to get swept up in the hate and the anger, because the internet feeds off of emotions, and anger is definitely one of the
feeds and rewards it.
Yep. As much as you love videos of someone rescuing a kitten, it's the same method as they feel anger, where it's your emotion takes the best of you and that spurs you to behave.
Yep.
And it's a cascading effect. Be aware that nobody is immune to that sort of thing, like propaganda and mass behavior.
No one is immune to propaganda. You are not immune to propaganda.
You are not immune, my brother. You know what I mean? And I would say, before you speak, and this is something I learned too, think about what you're going to say.
Well, duh. Really think before you act in general, right? Don't just open your mouth. Think about what's going to come out of there before you regret it.
Yeah, and this is for anybody who's going to listen post, if anything at all. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if these get archived or like that.
But yeah, this is going to stay up.
Everybody here seems to really, for the most part, have their marbles all organized. Shout out to you guys once again. I'm just glazing the chat. Y'all are cool. But, just chill the fuck out, I guess, to really put it in really simple terms.
At the end of the day, chill out.
Chill out. So I'm about to get up and stretch and actually probably go on a walk. It's really nice outside right now.
I did that earlier. It was a beautiful day today.
I've been studying, and I saw you were up, and I was like, hey, let me hop in here real quick and maybe boot up a little Battlefield 1 while I'm waiting, because Battlefield 1 is probably the best Battlefield out right now that's alive anyways.
There you go.
So shout out to you guys. Thanks for letting me pop in through here. And
thank you for engaging in very interesting conversation as always. Every time you're in here, it's very fun and very engaging.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd love to come by anytime, whenever it's possible. I'm thinking I'm probably just going to dip out of the TF2 community as a whole and just move on to something else. And I don't mean just I guess you can call it a personality, right? For TF2, I might do things here and there, but at this point, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to do things for me and not for
do what feeds your soul.
Yeah, dude. But I definitely don't want to lose any sort of friendships or acquaintances that I've had along the way that matter to me. So.
No, yeah, and I don't think anyone should ever hold it against someone for wanting to move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a big culling of all the servers I'm in and people that I don't know that well. I might DM people, but
yeah,
I think the healthiest thing is just to downsize, guys, and just focus on what's important. But anyways, you're hungry, bro. You got your Turkish food, and I'm gonna go on a walk in just a second. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for the nice comments, bro. I don't think I can read that Johnny Douglas typed in the.
I would not.
I wouldn't.
Either. I would not. But
I would, but nah. But no, Keith, I appreciate you guys. Shout out. And if anyone ever tells you that I grill the cat or that I do any sort of heinous things, it's probably not true, you can always hit me up, okay?
Don't take things on the internet at face value.
Yeah. Longest goodbye ever. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for having me. And
take care, man.
Have a great end of the stream.
See ya.
See you guys.
RubberMango, everyone. Always a treat to have him stop by. Always fun. Well, that extended on longer than I thought, but it was fun. And I think that wraps up a very successful first episode of The Pit. My little open radio show where people can call in and we talk about whatever we want. It was a good time. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling.